everybody. Welcome to the DeTalented podcast. You always laugh at my excitement. It always cracks me up.
Once in a while, you'll like nail it. It's like, that was perfect. It wasn't today.
It wasn't today? Oh,
Hello!
As always, I'm Brian DeTalent, your host, and I'm here with my bestest good buddy, Mr. Jimmy DeTalent, and this is the DeTalented podcast. Say hi, Jimmy.
Hey, man.
That's it? You're talking about me, and that's all I'm getting is,
That's what you get. Hey, man.
Goodness.
Hey,
you know
man.
what? I'm a little sad today. But first, let me just go ahead and get this out of the way. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and click subscribe and like the video and comment on the video. Click the bell so you don't ever miss a video when we post it. If you're missing the Talented podcast, then what are you doing with your life? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we need you to join the tens and tens of people out there that have already jumped on this bus.
All the tens
and join us, man. Okay, here's what I'm a little sad about tonight. Before we get to our guests, we do got a special guest tonight. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But before that, man, I'm a little sad.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing that we don't get to talk about tonight.
Oh, man. I know. I already know.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, our Dexter series
it's
is over.
Yes.
Yes.
It's over for the time being.
You know? And now, and I'm not going to lie, man, I've been lost at home, too. I'm like, Fridays, I was like, what am I going to do?
What are you going to do?
What in the world is going to go on? Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get to it. Let me just start off like this. When you and I were kids, there was this this legendary keyboard piano player.
Yeah, man.
As a matter of fact, I think the first band, the first concert, the first music show that I remember in my conscience was a band called the Gospel Sounds.
And it only went down from there.
And it did, right?
Yeah.
To this day, I'm not going to lie, my favorite Southern gospel song, I don't even know if I have the name right, but and I don't know if Paul or Eddie or you wrote it all together, but I think it was called Seawalker. Is that right? So anyway, here's what I remember, man. This Gospel Sounds, and I remember pastors being so excited the band was coming.
Yeah.
There was only one thing they were scared of.
What?
Dude, this piano player would play piano, and there would literally be keys flying off.
I told you the first thing he was going to say.
Flying off but listen.
Yeah.
One of my main questions that we're going to have, I'm going to introduce him in a second, is I don't even know how somebody gets to be this level of a musician. So it's incredible. Yeah. I still, all these years, he probably doesn't even know. Like he comes up all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, you are a meme. So without any further ado, welcome our special guest, Mr. Dave East. Dave, say hi.
Hey, how y'all doing? Appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for coming on. Like I said, I know Jimmy and I both. I mean, you come up a lot. Because of our upbringing, obviously we grew up in church, and we grew up in churches that were very deeply rooted in Southern gospel music. Yeah. And that's kind of your forte.
Yes.
But it's not your only forte. I don't think there's anything you couldn't play. But so tell us a little bit about yourself, man, and kind of what you got going on, and then I want to get into a little more. I want to dig. I want to find out
you want to go deep.
Because I always wanted to be a super musician, and I was always a dud, and so I want to know what it takes for someone to get to that level, because I can't stress enough. Dave's not a normal level musician. This ain't a guy that plays piano in church and don't play no more, man. This is a high level studio, can play anything. And I'm and we say piano, but let's be honest, you can probably play everything, can't you, Dave?
Yes, I can play 13 instruments.
Yeah. Well, Dave,
that's like 13. That's like 14 more than I can play.
Me
yeah,
too.
but the difference is you play yours well.
Well, that's debatable.
Yeah, right. So that's awesome. So yeah, tell us what you got going on. I know you got a new project going on. So tell us about that, and then and we'll talk.
All right. Well, 65 years ago, I started out as a child. I was born in Evansville, Indiana, because I wanted to be near my mother.
Makes sense.
And makes sense, I was born under the sign of St. Mary's Hospital, and it's been a wild ride ever since.
Yeah.
I'm currently playing with a group called Nail Prints, myself and Paul Rigdon, songwriter extraordinaire. And we have a new project out. It's called Save Me. We just released it well, it's been a couple months now. It's been out, and the first song we released off of it's one of Paul's. It's called "Be Ready." It's at number 18 on the WFSR chart, and it's holding pretty good there. So we're kind of excited about it, and I'm anxious to let everybody know that it's out there because I'm not the world's greatest marketer, but or otherwise I would have brought one with me. And I can, hey, look, see, this is what it looks. Pretend this is a CD with a hand coming up like this.
That's okay.
But I'm sure you have a website. Yeah, where can people go get this
Nail
music
print?
at?
That well, you can get it on any of the streaming services. You can get it on Amazon, Apple Music. We're on Spotify. We're on Pandora. I mean,
Hey, look there, it's on the screen.
How about that?
Look at that.
Yes, there, sir. And Mr. Paul, I know Mr. Paul as well.
That's the man.
Yeah, I'll tell you. See, so I had two best friends growing up, right? One was this guy, which is my brother, right, and pretty much, and then the other one is your I think he's your cousin, right? Which is Bear. Aaron Culbertson is
he's my cousin.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
He doesn't claim me, but yes,
he is. So Bear, to this day, we're good buddies with Aaron. Aaron's actually doing some work over at the other building for me right now. So here's one thing about this group, man. Like, dude, they're all. It shows you how God. There are generational blessings, and this entire family, the East family, right, which Aaron is from. Like, even Aaron's a scrub, but Aaron will pick up a guitar. Did you hear that, Aaron? I love you, brother.
He's a scrub.
He'll pick up a guitar and lead worship. At his church if he needs to. So the family's got it. And man, Mrs. C, in other words, Vicky Culbertson, which is Vicky East. Dude. She wrote another one of my favorite songs. I mean, I think it's called "Where the Flowers Never Die."
The Garden.
The Garden. Yeah. And man, dude.
That woman can write. She has stacks of songs that she's never performed anywhere that are just top notch. Every one of them is top notch. It's amazing.
I think I've had the opportunity and the blessing to hear some of them because she would play. Like I said, I grew up at that house, man. Me and this, obviously Billy Bolin, Chief Bolin. Chief Bolin was on with us, and we talk about that. I mean, we grew up there. Mr. and Mrs. C was our second parents, and so that family is just musical. But man, how did you start, man? And not only that, like once you started, I mean, did you lock the door and play piano for 15 hours a day?
Well, believe it or not, the first instrument I learned how to play was guitar.
Okay.
My mother wanted me to take guitar lessons, and so I did. I took guitar lessons for about a year, and came away with a pretty decent strumming and acoustic kind of thing. I couldn't play lead, unlike this guy.
Yeah.
But I could strum and I could sing and that kind of stuff. And I started singing in church and at my Uncle Russell's church over in Henderson. And every time we would need an instrument, well, the first one I learned how to play after guitar was bass because Paul Rigdon started a mixed quartet with his sister Ginger and Phil and Vicky, and Paul played an acoustic guitar, and he wanted me to play bass, so he taught me how to play bass, and so I played bass along with the quartet.
So you've known Paul that long?
Yeah, I've known Paul since I was about 12.
See,
wow! I don't think I realized that. Yeah.
So let me tell you something, and this is honestly how we met Paul. The church you're talking about is Christ Corner Church over in Henderson, Kentucky.
Yep.
Brother Russell East was the pastor there for years, and we would go there. And I remember when Paul first started coming there, but maybe he was just coming back. I don't know, because we were like kids. But I remember he went through like a tragedy type issue deal.
He did.
Right?
He did. He lost a spouse.
Yeah.
And it was a very difficult time for him.
Yeah.
And he and I mean, we played together for a few years there at the church, and then as is often happened, he and I were like this from day one. I mean, we just mixed. It was like peanut butter and jelly, and we reached a point to where we kind of went like this, and he went this way and I went this way. I got married, he got married. I went through all kinds of nonsense and in the church, out of the church, in the church, out of the church. My father started a church over here on Claremont Avenue, and I went over to help him, and it was there that the Gospel Sounds came in and did a concert one night, and Lori was playing piano for him then, Eddie Carroll's wife, and we didn't have, all we had over there was a piano. I didn't have any other musicians playing with me. So when they were there, I had them play with me for song service, and we just gelled. I mean, it was just perfect. Well, perfect as a 17-year-old guy that could play, but it went very, very well, and we really hit it off. And so after the service was over with, much to the chagrin of my father, I told them and said, if you guys ever need a piano player, let me know. And about 30 minutes later, they called me and said, we want a piano player.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I started traveling around with them, and we were full-time doing it. We weren't making a lot of money because there wasn't a lot of love in some of them love offerings.
That's
know
right.
What I mean?
I do.
So there wasn't a lot of money in it, but we got an old school bus, and
I remember that, man.
Painted that thing up.
I remember the album picture.
Yes.
And we started traveling that thing, and it had bunks in the back, and me and David Hurd and Steve Montgomery and Tim Montgomery was traveling with us for a while. We'd sleep in the bunks back there, and then Eddie and Lori would generally sleep in church wherever we were at.
Tim played sax, right?
He also played acoustic guitar, I want to say,
he
didn't
did.
he?
Okay.
Yes.
Sang a little bit.
So we did that for about 3 years, about 3.5 years. We ended up going down to Hilltop Studios and in Nashville. Kenny Henson produced an album for us, and that's what that record is. We did it, well, like I said, we did it until about 1982, and in 1982, the group split. Paul Jacobs went off and started evangelizing. Mm-hmm. Was very successful with it. He was state evangelist in North Carolina for
years.
A long time. And Eddie and Lori ended up going into pastoring, associate pastoring up in Indianapolis. And they did very, very well up there. Steve Montgomery lived up in Indianapolis. He took on a job as a truck driver and did incredibly well there, which if you know what his driving's like, that's amazing. Dave Hurd went to work in heating and air conditioning down here in Evansville, and he got married and did real well, and we all were just, it's just the way it worked out. In 2006, we decided they were having Pastor Appreciation Day at Eastside Church of God for Pastor Bill Hurd. And so we decided we were going to get the group back together for that Pastor Appreciation Day. And it was just like we never split.
Never split up.
We didn't. I don't even think we practiced. I think we just got up and did it.
Yeah.
And it was just like we just walked off the stage and walked back up there. And when pastors found out that we had done it, that we had visited before, they started calling, wanting us to come in. And so we decided, okay, hey, let's do it. And Eddie and Lori ended up moving back to Evansville, and we all got together again and started taking off, and that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
But at my uncle's church, I had learned how to play guitar. I'd learned how to play bass. And we lost a piano player and didn't have anybody to play piano, and I wanted to step in and fill that role. In fact, almost every instrument I learned how to play is because somebody left the church and we needed an instrument. Yeah. And so I started lessons for piano. I took about 3 months worth of lessons, and I think I could play Mary Had a Little Lamb, and it just wasn't fast enough for me.
Right.
So I knew how to play the guitar, so I just took the guitar and I sat down and I started sounding out the chords and figuring out what the chords were on the piano and goofing around with that kind of stuff. And then I started listening to Jimmy Swaggart and Jerry Lee Lewis and Mickey Gilley and Glenn Hardin, the piano player for Elvis Presley, and other people like that. And I started kind of mimicking and learning what they were doing. And Phil Culbertson, Sr., came to church one Sunday, and he brought a Jimmy Swaggart album with him. This is the first time I got introduced to Jimmy Swaggart's playing. And there was a song on there called the Gloryland March, and he said, I'll bet you $10 that you cannot play this by next Sunday. Okay. So I went home and I literally locked myself in my bedroom. And for the next 2 days, I hammered over that, trying to figure out what he was doing and everything, and got it. I went back to church Wednesday night and played it for him and won the $10.
On Wednesday. Didn't even take till Sunday.
Yeah, didn't even take to Sunday.
Just went.
But,
Did it. Hey, Mr. C, you got taken out on midweek service.
Yes.
What's up?
Well,
Family training hour.
Here's the thing to understand all the kids out there. There was no YouTube. There was no tutorials here. This was David East, his ear, and a record player.
Not even a CD, probably a record or a
That's correct.
8-track or a cassette or something.
That is correct.
Yeah, dude. I remember listening to the gospel sounds on 8-track.
I'm pretty sure my parents
still
had
have
an
one of
8-track.
those.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would listen to it on the way to like Mount Vernon, like in cars that had 8-tracks still showing our age.
And I'll tell you what, you guys were sharp. You guys had those white, like they were white suits,
White
right?
suits, yeah.
Paul and Eddie and Kent had those white suits.
Yeah.
Now, if you really want to talk about suits, we decided we all needed to have the same kind of suit.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, the only place we could find them that had that many suits, it was 5 that we needed, was a tuxedo place. So we go to the tuxedo place. They had this big clearance thing. You remember? You may or may not remember. Eddie worked at a gas station on Kentucky Avenue.
Yeah.
Well, right around the corner on Washington was this tuxedo place.
Yep.
And so I guess he'd gone in there and looked at it and found these silly things. And we went over there and we tried them on. And I kid you not, they were lime green.
That's awesome.
Lime green tuxedos.
That goes with the times, man.
Had the ruffles going on with dark green trim, the ruffles on the sleeves with the dark green trim, and the dark green pants with the stripe down it. Looked like you could on your off hours you could be a ticket taker at any theater around. And I think we probably wore those on stage maybe 4 times is what we ended up doing, and that was about it.
Yeah, it shows you the difference in the times, because I can't imagine going up playing like a music. Like, can you imagine playing like he plays? He's wild. Going up there and playing in a suit, like right, shows you kind of, like I said, like the way cultures change. Even in church now, you're gonna be in jeans and a flannel or t-shirt or whatever. But man, I remember those days. And when we were kids, like, you guys were cool, right, man? Because you guys were young men.
Yes.
We were kids, and you guys were young in your 20s or and so I remember
I was 18.
Yeah.
At the
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was crazy, but I do remember, like everybody. I remember it was Lori, Eddie, Paul, Steve.
Kent
I do remember
Coleman.
Tim, Kent Coleman.
So did Kent sing like bass or baritone?
Well, he sang what we called bass. Yes. He was.
You grabbed waters.
His bass generally was the lead an octave down is generally what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the only harmony we had was me and Lori.
Yeah.
I was going to say, could anybody else sing harmony?
Well, I taught Paul how to sing harmony.
Paul Jacobs?
Yes, I did.
Was he hitting it?
He most of the time.
Okay.
Now, when we got back together in 2006, and things were really taking off, we thought we were going all the way, man, and we put a lot of time and money and effort in trying to get everything done and get it put together. And Paul really, we were what we didn't do before. This time we got together and the vocalists got together and we worked on the harmonies and really dug in and we were from 2006 until about 2010, 2011, we were
hitting it pretty good.
We were hitting it pretty well.
Hitting it hard.
Yes.
You know what lyrics I remember that Paul, I still remember some lyrics Paul sang.
Really?
Paul Jacobs.
Yeah.
You ready? I'll sing them right now.
Yeah. He was the hype man.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the hype man.
Yes.
The train whistle.
This train. This train is bound for glory. This train. Yes.
Yeah, dude. I remember that being. And dude, we were little. He just said that. So he just said they quit in '82, and we were born in '75.
So when did the gospel sound start?
Eddie and Lori, the original iteration of the gospel sound started, I think it was in '74.
Oh wow.
Before us.
Yeah. 74 or 75.
That's when I was born.
Yeah.
74.
We were born 75.
Yeah.
But I clearly remember this when I was a little kid. So
Well, I can remember. So my parents had a house on Taylor and Rotherwood there.
Yep.
You remember that house?
yeah.
And for some reason, I just have this.
It was a little split level house.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, a little
Yeah.
tri-level. So I really remember this distinct memory of you guys pulling up in that bus.
Yeah.
And I got to get on it and walk, and I thought you guys were.
They're famous.
Oh man.
It's like both
I can't
Cephas
believe
pulled up.
they pulled up in front of our house. I get to go look at this bus. This is amazing.
I
Is
tell
that
you,
where it took off
there-
for you?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what got me. I was about 8 years old, and I was playing my father's old Epiphone acoustic guitar. The thing was bigger than I was,
Yeah.
and for some reason, I was the kid in school that I had a really bad childhood, and I was the kid in school that was kind of left behind. I mean, I was the stinky kid because there was nobody to make sure that I took care of myself and make sure my teeth were brushed and all that kind of stuff. And so they were having a talent show for an assembly at a PTA assembly. I don't understand to this day what made me do this, but I signed up for it. And I got in there with that big old honking guitar, and I got in front of about 250 people, scared to death.
Yeah.
And in my 8 or 9 year old voice, tried to interpret Elvis Presley's Separate Ways, not having any idea what I was singing or what I was doing.
Yeah.
But when I got finished with it, I got a standing ovation,
Yeah.
and I was bit.
There's something to
That's
this.
it. That's it. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it.
You can't
Yeah,
have that
this is my
happen.
thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
The bug bit me,
Yep.
and so I decided from that moment on, nothing else was going to do except to be a musician, and that's what I put all my effort into. I didn't finish high school. I got a GED, but I didn't finish high school. I didn't care about grades. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about learning a trade. All I was going to do, I didn't need all that because I was going to be a musician.
Yeah.
And so then I decided I wanted to be the utility player. So I tried to get as good as I could at almost any instrument so that if I was in a studio situation or a stage situation where somebody didn't show up, I could just pick the thing up and play it.
Right.
And that was what I shot for. And in long about 1981, I got acquainted with Pastor Bill Gaddis at the Church of God of Prophecy that used to be over on Belmead.
Mm-hmm.
And he had bought a studio and had put a studio in his basement called Inspirational Sound Studios. And that was my first initiation into studio work. And my wife and I went in and we recorded an album. And when he heard what I could do and how I could play and even some of the engineering that I did, he hired me. And so it was me and we hired a drummer and we hired a steel guitar player to play on country stuff, and I did the rest of it. And we put out probably 8 to 10 albums in the time that we were there.
Wow, man! I did not
Yeah.
know. I didn't know
I
that
didn't
he
either.
ever had a studio over there
Yeah.
like that.
Down in the basement of the parsonage.
This is on on Belmead, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, like a stone.
It's a big Bedford stone building.
That's Tanya's grandfather.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where that church is
Yeah.
at. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
Yeah.
He really was.
Yep.
And he sold the studio to some folks who took it and changed it from a gospel-only studio to a anything-goes kind of studio.
Gotcha.
And they took me with it, and it was called J. Lee Recordings. It was over on the corner of Walnut, and I can't remember what the cross street is. But anyhow, I did that for about a year and a half, and at that point, my marriage kind of blew up, and my life kind of went to shambles, and stuff just went crazy. I got out of church, I backslid, and I started playing in the local clubs and local bars, and it's amazing because it all stemmed. Gene Hayden was pastor of Life and Abundance Church, and I had done 3 albums for him over at Inspirational Sound, and he offered me a position as worship leader at his church. And my father still had his church, which meant I would have to leave my father's church and go over here. My father was absolutely livid.
Yeah.
And he was so upset about it that he told me that he would rather that I would be playing in a bar than playing in that church.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And so I gave him what he wanted, and I went out and started playing in bars and stuff. Yeah. And my naive man, I was a preacher's kid. I grew up in church. I didn't know anything about the world. And the first night that I played in a bar, man, I was like a duck out of water, man. I didn't have any idea what was going on.
Yeah.
No reference to base it on.
Sure.
And so I'm thinking that I'm going to be discovered in it because, again, my goal was to be a musician.
Right.
And I'm thinking I'm going to be discovered and some band's going to hire me and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, playing at the Be Back Inn and Duffy's Tavern. And, but these are the things I have. I was just really naive.
Yeah, you're a kid.
And that was kind of the start of my metamorphosis, if you will, into secular realm. And I did that for a while, and then I got back into church and did that for a while, and then I got back out of church again, and then back out. I'm like thank God for God's grace.
Amen. Amen. I needed it too, brother. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. But I'll tell you, man, as far as that goes, though. And this is one thing that we say, and we've caught some shade over it. But man, we've Jimmy plays in clubs. Mm-hmm. And we've invited and led so many people to Jesus that we've met while he's playing out.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest problems for a long time is like I understand the whole thing about you're not a part of the world. You got to separate yourself. But at the same time, we're the ones called to go out and give the gospel to the world. Mm-hmm. Jesus went where the sinners were. Man, the sinners aren't in church. If all you do all your witnessing in church on Sundays, you're not going to lead very many people to the Lord. You know what I mean? You got to do it otherwise. And like and one thing that I love is every single show to this day that he does, he pauses and he has this section where he asks who goes to church and where they go, and then he does. Then you'll do like. You start with
my church.
Yeah, my church. But then you go into...
I'll break into some I Saw the Light.
I Fly Away and I Saw the Light. Yeah. And dude, I'm telling you, those songs are what gets the biggest reaction out of all the ones you play. You know what I mean? Everybody's
That's the
singing
opportunity
along.
to see. You can see how many people in the crowd actually know the songs. And,
I know. So God leads us in seasons like that. And I'm sure that you probably learned a lot more about music and things in that. Well, in those seasons.
Brian, the amazing thing about it, my father's church is on Claremont Avenue, and right across the street there was a tavern. And we had trouble out of that place, trouble on top of trouble on top of trouble. There was trash and all, it was just a mess.
Yeah.
And man, we prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed that God would close that thing down and get rid of it. And after I started playing out in the bars, I can remember standing at the podium of my father's church and looking out the back window and seeing that bar across the street. And after I started playing in the bars, there was one night that I was in that bar. And I looked out the front window of the bar and saw the church sitting across the street. And it had such an impact on me.
Yeah.
And about, I guess it's been about 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, I got invited to come and sing at a church. The pastor was Brother Randy Evans. Mm-hmm. And he invited me to come, and he wanted me to come. And by that point, the Gospel Sounds had disbanded the second time. Eddie and Lori had gone into pastoring. And I was basically trying to do a solo thing. And so he saw me somewhere and he invited me to come, and I agreed, okay, we set a date. We put a date together. I said, okay, what's the address of the church? He said 3818 Claremont Avenue. That was my father's church.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so I got to the church to get everything set up, and I walked through the front door, and it was almost a picture postcard of what it was when I had left.
Yeah, or when you were younger.
And so I got to, it was very, very surreal. And here's the cool thing about it. We had prayed so much for that thing to be shut down. Well, Claremont Church now owns that bar.
Oh.
And they turned it into a fellowship hall for the
wow.
church.
There you go.
So
that is good. That is funny. But that's so, man. I said earlier we would talk a little bit about, it's not just ending with you. So now you've got a son. How old is Logan?
Logan is, let's see, he was born 2024.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do not. So he's the same age as our boys. Is that yours? No. Or that may be your phone. And that's okay. I just make sure nobody's missing anything. But he, I haven't had a chance to hear him play. But you've told me how good he is.
No, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
And he plays. Does he play the same thing? He plays keys.
He plays keys. He plays guitar. He sings.
He plays drums. He can play bass.
Right?
He can play drums.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he actually won some. He won some awards.
He won the Instrumentalist of the Year for the Country Gospel Music Association about 3 years ago. Yes,
remember that's what I busted out on you, that I showed you that he had won, which reminded me. Here's one of the things I remember too. This is funny because this brings up kind of old childhood church memories. As I remember when. And we weren't there, but I just remember hearing about it when Dave Hurd won the Teen Talent Challenge.
Yes,
with what, 3 strings? Because he
broke a string. He broke a string. Yes.
Yep.
Dave Hurd is an incredible bass
player. He's an alien. He
is a monster on that thing.
He is.
Yeah, he's an alien when it comes to bass. He is. We would sit there and watch him. I was just like, golly. You know who else is an alien at everything is Dan Hurd.
Oh, yes. Dan is super talented.
Can do it all. And his vocals are fire. He's good, man. He can really sing.
It was kind of funny because I showed Dan some of the things that I do on a piano. And about, I guess, a month later, Philip Culberson, the son of Phil and Vicky Culberson, came over to East Side, and he sat down and he was playing, and all of a sudden I hear my licks, and I'm like, man, where'd you get that from? He said, oh, Dan showed it to me.
And I remember Dan, like the first thing he probably ever picked up, I think, was probably drums.
Drums.
Because he could barely sit on the throne, the drum throne, and couldn't even see over the toms.
You couldn't see him over the toms,
and he was a monster back then. It wasn't too long, and he played. It felt like he played drums for a really long time because that's where he was needed.
Yes.
Then I think he maybe moved over to bass. Then he picked up keys after that.
I remember him moving over to keys,
and then I think
piano.
just for fun he plays acoustic. I don't think that's ever anything serious for him.
He plays piano, and he did. Then I think now he's in a different style. Stylistically, he's in a different kind of church.
He led worship down in Orlando for a number of years, didn't he?
He did
at a bigger.
And I don't think he played anything when he was doing that.
I know. I think he was
singing,
just
right?
He was
Is that
just
right?
singing
I'm
and
not
leading
sure.
worship. Yeah. I think he was just singing and leading worship. I know that. Well, I've always said this, and I will say this, and I will I will debate anybody over it. The best musicians in the world are not in bars and they're not in rock bands. The unheralded best musicians in the world are in little bitty churches that nobody knows about.
Oh, yeah, man.
The same way we talk about him. I don't know if you've ever seen him. There was this show called Snake Salvation.
Yes.
And there was this kid named Andrew Hamlin that was one of the pastors.
Yep.
And he was so good. Ricky Skaggs went to hear him, and then he figured out they were bringing out snakes. He's like, "I got to go."
Yeah, I'm gonna sit in the back, way back, almost by the door. Actually, outside the door.
But I'm telling you, man, this Andrew Hamlin kid, he was in his 20s still. He was the pastor of the snake wrangling church, but he played this. He always played a telly. And same one, went like he's going in with a bunch of, and I'm telling you, this looked like. Do you remember what the original Northeast Church of God looked like?
Yes,
it looked about like that.
Yes,
like this little bitty country church, and they didn't have no musicians, and then you got friggin'. I mean, he's good like anybody that you can name. Name somebody. He was
legit,
like,
man.
Yeah, he had Vince Gill up there playing guitar. Yeah. And in between, he's grabbing snakes. He's dancing,
got a snake around him, using a snake for a strap.
Oh man!
So here's I want to switch gears just a little bit because I don't want to forget. I want to remember this. So 2 words: true story.
I know. Yeah,
you know where I'm going with it.
Yes,
you know where I'm going with it, Dave.
I knew that this was going to be the thing.
Yeah,
because I have a feeling. Yes,
because I don't know that I ever got the story or how it came about. Which I think I know how it came about. But there for a while you were touring and opening up for Alabama, right?
Yes, I played guitar for John Brennan.
Yeah.
And we opened up for Alabama twice. Yes.
Okay.
It's funny that he knew what the true story.
True story.
Yes.
Now you were friends with him then, still are? Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Does he play or sing anymore? Or?
Well, yeah, he's actually trying to kickstart his career again.
Okay.
And he kind of sat back for a little while and did some work in the local church and stuff down there. And
was he in the FBI? Or was that his dad?
He was on. His dad was in the FBI.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
His dad Dan was in the FBI.
Okay, I knew there was some tie there, but I don't know. That was so you played guitar traveling with him. Did
I've been in the FBI's custody.
I filled in for his regular acoustic guitar player. He wasn't able to play, so I went out for a week with him.
How was that? Did you enjoy it?
Oh my gosh, man! It was like if I'd have known I was going to peak when I was 27. But yeah, it was a blast. There was like 12 or 13,000 people in the stands, and it was amazing.
Yeah,
I bet. I mean, you can't beat that, man.
No way.
But that all leads back to, and we can bring it up a little bit because I loved it there. I thought it was cool. But you used to play. You were kind of like the house piano player at Goldie's in Owensboro,
yes,
right?
Goldie's Opera House.
Yeah, yeah, dude, I had fun there. We went there. Quite a few times, man. Like me, Aaron, them guys. And it was back around when John Brennan was, I would think, was on because he was in there when wasn't he on when we were like teenagers? Wasn't that when he was in like the Real World?
Maybe like early '90s, mid '90s, somewhere in there.
Early mid '90s. I played there from '94 to '97.
Okay.
And he was on the Real World. And he built up quite a following. Was doing
because he was on the first season of
yes,
the Real
he was.
World.
He
was like one of
season.
the OGs, man.
Yes,
he was like we liked him. We loved John Brennan.
I thought it was cool. He was from Owensboro.
Yep.
Yeah.
John's
him and that dude named Puck. Remember that? Puck.
Yeah, that was another season.
Was it another season?
I don't know.
I just remember Puck. Everybody's mad at him because he would put his finger in the peanut butter.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because they had like a reunion later on where they had people from all of the seasons come together, and I thought John and Puck were going to come to blows.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I mean, it was John was trying to be nice about it, and Puck was being Puck.
Puck,
you know.
Puck was about to learn what them thoroughbreds in Kentucky be. Get ready.
John's pretty good sized boy, isn't he?
Oh yeah. And dude, remember? I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, and Jesus loves him, but Puck he looked like a little crackhead, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure, dude, that big cowboy would have probably Bronco tied him, man. But we were talking, we kind of led into all this talking about Logan. So Logan's in a band now.
Yes.
With Sam Hahn. And I know that Jimmy's been out and got to enjoy him. And I'm going to get out and hear him too. But they were telling us that you run sound for them and that you're kind of taking care of them on that. And we were telling them, we actually told Sam that night, we were like, man, we're like, listen to what he says. Listen to Dave.
Absolutely. Right.
We're like, when it comes to your music, because I know Sam's he's new to playing guitar and everything.
I think he's only been doing it a handful of years.
Yeah.
I believe.
And the way that we learned, I had a similar, like I play guitar and I am no good. I fake it. Like, right. I know enough to make everybody else in the band aggravated is what I know. And so, but man, I started off when I was probably 5 years old watching the guys in church, and my parents bought me a little acoustic guitar, and I literally sat up there and watched their hands and taught myself how to play, until I went and took lessons from Ron Pritchett for a while.
Yep.
Taught myself how to play guitar, and I can play some little bit, but everything.
I think you undersell yourself.
But everything I learned, mainly, I learned how to play a little bit of leads and scales and stuff from Ron. But man, I learned how to play in church, sitting up there watching guys like David Klein, and I don't know if you remember any of these names from Mount Vernon, man. This is going way back. David Klein and JR and Carl and them, and man, we were just kids, and I would sit there and watch them. And then, quick fact about Jimmy DeTalented. Guess who taught him how to play his first chord?
Who's that?
Brian DeTalented.
Really?
Yeah.
That guy plays guitar like he does because of this guy, right? Who's got two thumbs and taught Jimmy DeTalented how to play guitar?
Yeah, man.
Oh.
What'd you teach? You taught me a G chord, didn't
Probably.
you? I think
That's probably the
what
only
you
one
did.
I knew about then.
Well, that's the Pentecost key, man.
Oh, man,
If
that's-
you know G, you
Hey,
got it.
that is,
You know what?
that is God's
I-
key right there.
They literally taught me it was called the People's Key. That was the People's
Yeah,
Key,
man.
man. It's like if you don't know what to play it in, play it in G.
Play it in G, man.
Somebody's gonna be able to sing it.
Yeah.
And then I have this mom that won't sing in nothing but B flat.
Yeah, that's fun. That's always
Like
fun.
I remember, so I got so for a long time I was like you. I was the only one they had, so I was
Yeah.
playing all the, and I even got to where I played a little piano and
Yeah.
doing stuff lead, but mainly it was guitar. And I would have other musicians come in. And you have other, and when you're in, what a lot of people understand is when you're in small churches. You might be a little consistency, but really, honestly, there was no telling what you were going to end up with each service on
Right.
on the stage. Playing
No, you never
what.
knew.
Yeah, and so I was used to playing what my mom, she played in B flat so I knew, okay, their church songs, 4 chords, maybe a minor.
4. I was going to say you're.
Yeah, and then we would, so I would play in B flat, but I remember everybody else struggling so bad that would come in and they'd be like,
Well, it's just not
yeah,
conducive
I know.
to a musician, especially keys. Do you like playing it? Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
to
I was
you, but
gonna
do you
say-
like playing in B flat?
Not particularly.
Right.
No. My absolute worst key that I hate to play in on a piano is B.
Yeah.
I hate playing in the key of B on a piano. I just do.
That's funny because I even still I hate it. I think I would probably agree. Not piano, but guitar. Playing it, B sucks. B even talking about B flat, that was always awful. But I just learned to do it because I've done it every single Sunday. So it was literally like B flat, F, and D minor, whatever.
Well, it'd be like B flat, E, and F sharp, or what? A lot of
Whatever
things
it was,
central
whatever
around
it
in
was.
that key.
You guys don't even use those anymore. Do you ever use keys, or you just use one,
No,
3?
I am a numbers chart guy.
You're a numbers guy, yeah. And
If somebody
Yeah.
makes a chart that has keys on it, I can do it. But I prefer the numbers. Yeah.
Just say, 1, 4, 5, 6, 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
But you got to know the main key before the numbers make sense, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but see, the nice thing about the number system, is you don't have to transpose.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have a chart that says, a 1, a 4, a 5, and a 6 minor, and then the guy comes in and he says, well, I don't want to do that in G, let's do that in C. Well, then you don't
You're
have to.
still playing the 1,
You're
3,
still
5.
playing
Yeah.
the
You're still
yes.
playing the 1, the
Yeah.
4, the 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I just never really, but I guess they're all I don't know. I never played like that because back then guys didn't, but I know everybody does that knows anything, right? I know, you know what I mean?
Well, I think it's easier.
Yeah. And I don't know why I'm thinking about this right now, man, but it just made me think. I'm still thinking about David Hurd playing the bass. And, I've only heard one bass player that sounded like that, like David Hurd.
Who's that?
I don't know if you'll remember this, dude. We almost thought it was Dave Hurd when we first heard it because it sounded like that. We walked into that Nashville music store.
Oh, yeah.
It was Faith Hill's bass player.
Yeah, Faith Hill's bass.
Yeah.
Big black guy. Dude, just making it talk. But honestly, you would have thought, I remember thinking, man, it sounded like Dave Hurd. You know what I mean? And
The amazing thing about Dave is he's doing all this complex stuff, and you look at him, and it's like he's standing still. It's like he's not. You know what I mean? He just makes it look effortless.
yeah, one of those people that it sounds like they're doing a whole lot, but he's using very little energy.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
everything's getting done with like his real super efficient and just slow. But
I
dude,
was taught by somebody like that.
yeah.
Bud Linville. I don't know if you know Bud Linville.
Yes, I do.
He's from here. He's one of the greatest thumb and finger pickers in
Yeah.
America. And rest in peace.
Oh, he
He's
passed
away.
So he
on that,
played.
but-
He played 6-string guitar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thumb and finger.
But he
picker.
did that whole Merle Travis, Chet Atkins thing.
Chicken picking.
Yeah, he was on
Yeah.
their albums actually.
Is that right?
He was a Nashville studio session guy. Lived here in Evansville.
I know that Aaron's Phil. So Mr. C is the pastor over there now, Phil. I know they still, they still have that one guy that comes in. He's kind of Chet Atkins style. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Richard Kaiser.
Yeah, Richard Kaiser. Yeah. Dude, that is good, man. He's a super good guitar player.
Well, he's a pro.
Yeah,
I mean, they travel full time all over the country. He's a pro.
yeah. That makes a difference.
Yeah. Now, the church you go to now, man, there's quite the music lineup down there, right? I mean, there's a lot of good musicians. Yeah.
Preachers Chapel in Hanson, Kentucky, they're very blessed. Yes, we have a full band. we've got 2 guitar players. We've got a steel guitar. We got a drummer. We got a harmonica guy. I play keys. We've got a rhythm guitar player, and there's about 8 or 9 singers up there.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's a full
Is
complement.
Paul going down there with you?
He goes down there every once in a while. We have the last Monday of every month. We have the Bobby Rich Monday Night Music Fest, and it's an amazing thing because it's on Monday night, but there's usually about 200 or 300 people there.
Yeah.
And so he would come down and sit in with us and play down there some. Now, Nail Print is actually featured on the next Monday Night Music Fest. It's in September. I think it's the 29th, I want to say.
Okay.
So how does that work? Do you guys? Is it just a music night, or is there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a big concert. And I asked Bobby Rich, he was the pastor at the time when he started this. He's gone on to be with the Lord now, but I asked him one time why he did it on a Monday night, because usually, this stuff happens on a weekend or something.
Right.
And he said, well, because they told me I couldn't do it. And he pulled it off and packed it out, and it's something to see.
Yeah, I know. I know about it. I've never made it down there. I wouldn't mind going down there and checking that out. Aaron, I know every once in a while they try to get Phil out. And I don't know when the last time they did.
He was there last time.
Phil was?
Yes.
Okay, good. And I know Aaron said they'll try to get him out because he still, he loves that. He enjoys.
Sure.
He enjoys going to that. I was just talking to Aaron the other day about that, man. And we were talking about Phil, and he was telling me, that they were. I don't remember if he told me they were planning. Maybe they were planning to take him to that, or if they just had. But I know they said when they get a chance, because that's where Phil was going.
He was associate pastor and was on the road to be the pastor. The pastor was considering retiring.
Yeah.
And he was on the road to being the pastor when he had the aneurysm.
Yeah, man. I hate that.
Jimmy?
I know he was at who?
Jimmy?
Yeah.
I love steel. Can we get somebody to play steel in Arby?
I know, man.
Oh, man.
I know.
It is such a treat
It
when
is a
somebody
treat when
plays
play-
pedal steel.
I
Yeah.
tried to learn.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
Who was it? Somebody did Tim Montgomery play the steel a little bit? Is that what you said? a while
He
ago?
played a lap steel, yes.
I think I remember that
Yeah.
too, man.
A little bit different than like a pedal steel.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that was one cool thing about church too. Was like I remember every once in a while I'd get some person come in and they'd play like the Spoons or whatever. But I remember my first introduction ever to a dobro. Right, it came in. I was like, "What is this guitar with this
Yeah.
hubcap stuck to the front of it?" Right, and then he started playing it, and this guy played it with a slide. Right, he played it. He wasn't like picking it like a guitar like Kev Moe or nobody. He was playing it with a slide. It almost sounded like I thought it was a lap steel at first, is what I thought it was, but I was just like, man, what is this different looking? And ever since then, I love dobros, man. I love dobros. Never,
Oh, yeah.
never had one.
I
Never
just like
played
that
one.
bending though. They
Dude,
started that bending.
That I'm telling
Make
you.
it talk to me.
Yeah,
do
man.
you remember Kev Moe?
Of course I
He
do.
is one of my. Do you remember Kev Moe? Do you
Yes.
remember that?
Yeah.
I love Kev Moe, man.
Yeah, Kev Moe's
I
awesome.
think he's still banging,
He
man. I think
probably
he's still around.
still's out there. Yeah, but pedal steel. A guy named John Gilbert played in my band for a while. Pedal
remember
steel,
when you
the
had the
electric
steel.
revival stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's great. He was he's a Kentucky boy. Those Kentucky boys, man, they can play. There's something in the water over there, I guess.
Well,
I
I'll
don't
tell you
know.
what, if you look for a steel player, man, there's a guy down in Madisonville. His name is Malcolm Kirby.
Malcolm Kirby.
And he is an absolute, he's a master at steel
Wow.
guitar. He's absolutely incredible. If you can get him, he's good to have.
So what okay? So what was your when you were a kid? I'm talking kind of like teenage years. What was your musical influence outside of gospel? Like who? What did you listen to, man? You know?
Well, excuse me. I listen to, believe it or not, a lot of Elvis.
No, yeah, I love it.
You can't go wrong with that.
Now, not the 50s Elvis. I liked the 68 comeback special forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elvis.
A little more rocking.
Hound
Yes.
Dog.
Yeah, a little more rocking,
Yeah.
a little more, when I think I was 11 or 12, my mother took me to see Elvis at Robert Stadium.
Yeah.
And we had the absolute worst seats in the house. We were behind the stage.
No, look at their backs.
Up about 15, 20 rows behind the stage. And while my mother was enjoying watching Elvis do his thing, I was just blown away by the spectacle of it all.
Sure.
This
Yeah.
guy had a huge orchestra playing behind him. He had a 5-piece band. He had a drummer, Ronnie Tutt, that was playing 27 drums down there, man. and was just like Animal on Sesame Street.
Like Neil Peart.
Old Schiff on the bass, and
James Burton
James
on
Burton on
guitar,
guitar,
yeah, man.
and and then he had a choir. For crying out loud, he had J.D. Sumner and the Stamps over here, along with his little Linda Westmoreland, the little soprano singer, and then he had the Sweet Inspiration singing back up also. All really class, good people, good people, and I was just blown away by the spectacle of it. I was an Elvis fan from that point forward.
I've always loved Elvis too, man. You know Chad thinks Elvis is.
I know.
Who's the guy that he?
Some pastor in like Alabama or Oklahoma.
Yeah, do you remember his
Louisiana,
name?
Arkansas. No, I don't.
Man, he's down there.
Chad would know.
He pulled out of here last night listening to Elvis.
Yeah, well, he swears this pastor's Elvis. that this guy, Chad's here we go. Chadism. He swears, and he's a conspiracy theorist anyway.
Yeah.
But he swears he's alive, man. That Elvis ducked out, and that this preacher now in Alabama, like he's like, no, I'm telling you, dude, he'll give little winks every once in a while. I'm like, dude, come on, bro. I'm like, that's not Elvis, man. It's some guy it's a really good impersonator or whatever. So you listen to Elvis, man. What else? You do any like Beatles or?
Well, I'm going to get crucified when I say this. I never liked the Beatles.
No, you're not gonna. Not by me.
You're
I
okay
liked the songwriting, but they got on my nerves.
Their delivery,
The delivery of it just got on my nerves. Okay, and I'm about to get crucified again. Willie Nelson is another one of those.
Oh man.
Okay?
Oh man.
Listen,
Ouch.
he's an incredible songwriter.
But
okay?
his voice.
But his voice and his phrasing and
But don't
and
you
that
think
out of tune catgut guitar, I just want to take it and bang it. You know, why couldn't he have been like the rock bands of old and just take that thing and just beat it on the stage? And you know,
you don't think that? Do you think he borrowed from jazz phrasing, or do you think he knew? Because he's very outside, right?
Yes, he drifts out of the pocket. He's like Brad Paisley on guitar.
Yeah.
Brad Paisley will do these riffs that start to drift out of the pocket,
But he brings it.
But he always brings
Brad
it back.
brings it back. Man,
Always
Brad
brings
is a
it back.
good.
bad man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So guess what I found out? I'm going to see in October. And the funny thing is, I couldn't care less. I'm excited about going to see the opener.
Okay. Who were you going to see?
So the concert's Eric Church.
Okay.
The opener
Yeah.
is Marcus King.
Ooh. Yeah. Marcus King's nice.
Dude, I know. When
He's
I found
legit.
that, I was like, yes, I'm going with Adam and Amber. But dude, I'm excited about that. I was listening to
that'd
him
be a
on the
good
way.
show.
I've been listening to Marcus King for a few years. We talked. Remember, I was like, hey, man, have you seen this kid?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest, man, that guy. He don't look like what he sounds like.
Oh no!
You would
he
never
fools
think
you.
that kid
Yeah, no,
would be able to.
he's legit, man. That just popped. Something popped in my head talking about that. Did you ever run across Chris Stapleton when he came through Owensboro?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. And you know, as it turns out, he is actually related to our worship leader down at Princess Chapel.
Is that right?
Yes, they've done some writing together.
Man, because he's
Because his voice is incredible.
oh, dude.
Oh my goodness.
He's like the.
well,
goat
you're
to
good
me.
friends with him, right?
Yeah, we had a chance meeting at the Opry Mills Mall. I don't think his life's ever been the same since.
I think we're going to
Still
go see
remembers
him.
that moment.
I think all of us might be going to see him at the end of this year.
Oh yeah.
Our wives are talking about it.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
I'll go.
I'm there. Put me
I'm
in,
there,
coach.
baby. Put
Yeah.
me
No,
in.
he is one of the goats to me.
I think he is
Yeah.
the GOAT.
Yeah. Vocally.
Male vocalist.
Yeah.
Dude, that when he did the Super Bowl, when he did with the national
The national
anthem.
I don't think there's. Maybe I'll get crucified for saying this, but he is the top. In my opinion, that is the best national anthem ever. And
I think so.
some people
man.
argue with Whitney Houston.
No,
You know,
she was
listen,
awesome.
Whitney Houston had her day.
Yeah.
She was a fantastic vocalist.
Yeah.
Incredible range. Really, 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 really good. Chris Stapleton, I would say she's the best female I've heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as far as the male presentation of that particular song, Chris Stapleton nailed
Man,
it.
he killed it.
He's the
everything.
bar. He's the bar
You're
that's
right.
been set.
Yeah.
He in everything he sings. It was like when you hear. I remember when I first heard him, I was like, "Who is this guy singing, man? What is this cat?" And then I found out, then I found out about him, went kind of looked at his story and found out Justin Timberlake kind of broke him, that he was just this writer in Nashville. That Luke Bryan, I found out that he's singing backup on a song he wrote for Luke Bryan. Song about the guy that drink a beer is what the song's called.
Yeah.
But I am excited about the whole Marcus King thing, man.
For sure.
Cool.
He's legit.
I think it'd be good. Still not the best concert I ever went to. You know what it is. It always will be. And I am literally going to go to concerts trying to find a band that is good live as they were.
Were you going to say Jimmy DeTalented?
No, it wasn't you.
Gospel sound.
It was
That was gospel.
No, you know who
It was Nail
honestly.
Print.
I want to see if you like these guys though, because I think you will. Is Blackberry Smoke?
Oh, they're dynamite.
Yeah. So
Man,
we love their stuff.
Man,
Yes.
we went and seen them. It was like, God.
And it's it's the album live.
It sounds
it's
like
better than the album.
It is
live.
Dude. It is.
Yeah.
Like
they're,
I said,
they're legit.
What's his name? Charlie
Stahl.
Charlie Stahl.
Yeah.
But I will say, and I always say it is his world, and the rest of those guys live in it. That's for
he's
sure.
the guy, right?
Yeah.
He's so good though.
I got to see Crowder at that place right across the Blue Bridge in Owensboro.
At the River Park Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
David Crowder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very
Good.
personal. There was only like 500 people there.
Okay.
And like I was sitting this close to him. It was like amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen him at Winter Jam, but that was not 500 people. The smallest, most intimate concert I've seen. It was really cool though because I got to watch my boys. So I have twins, and they're 24. One plays drums, and he's a really good drummer. And one plays guitar, and he's like a really good guitar player too. They got this long red hair. Dude, they look like Dave Mustaine is who they look like. But the guitar player is a huge fan of Yngwie Malmsteen.
Really?
Yeah, so me and Jimmy and Jimmy's boys and my boys, we drove. Where'd we go?
Bowling Green.
And we went and seen
Small
Yngwie
little theater.
Malmsteen in this
Yeah.
small little theater, and it was so. And like, dude, that dude doesn't even hit half a run. Like it was. How perfect was his guitar playing? It was like crazy.
If he made a mistake, he did not make a mistake.
It almost sounds like like he's cheating. Right, because
He's
moving fast, and you talk about looking. He make it look effortless, like he's sitting there, never looks at his fingers. Now, I got other opinions about his singing. The 5 lyrics he sang.
Well, he used to have a singer, and he was like, you know what? I don't need a singer.
Yeah.
I'll just sing a few lyrics and then play lead over the whole song.
And every once in a while, he just let out one of those '80s yells. That's all he would do.
And he scallops his fretboard.
He digs them out.
He's not touching the fretboard.
Anything.
His fingers are touching the strings. He's not digging into the fretboard. It's a very light touch.
I think that would drive me crazy.
Oh, I couldn't play that way.
I don't even know how you would do it. I guess you still feel the.
And he was
strings,
very,
but-
he wanted to mimic a violin. Like you listen, everything he does came from, like Paganini. You know what I mean? Like he's very classically influenced. With,
But he's good, man.
Jimi Hendrix style Marshalls and Strats.
My boy Trevor was in heaven.
Oh yeah,
We were
he
cracking
didn't
up.
take his eyes off
Yeah.
of Yngwie.
Then Jimmy went up to the stage and started causing trouble, so we had to leave.
I was trying to get a pick for Trevor.
That's typical.
Par for the course, dude. It really was.
But some of the other people that I listened to when I was younger, Ronnie Millsap a lot. Ronnie Millsap
Yeah.
Ronnie Millsap was a big influence on me. Steve Wariner,
Another great
Conway Twitty.
I love Conway Twitty.
I do too.
Love some
Conway Twitty wrote some songs that were just absolutely incredible. He has a song he wrote that was on a B-side of an album. It's like it's just an extra thing they threw in there. They never released it anywhere. And I think it was probably the best written song that he ever did. It was called "You'll Never Know How Much I Needed You Today."
Wow.
And the lyric on it is just incredible. It's like the first verse is half asleep. I reached for you at dawn, felt the emptiness beside me, remembered you were gone in the cold. That old blanket couldn't give the warmth you gave. You never know how much I needed you today. And then he goes on to say, the touch of you still lingers on my mind. That tender touch I need so much to feel just one more time. And then my favorite line, your picture seems to whisper things I wanted you to say. You'll never know how much I need you today. It was just an incredibly well-written song, and they never released it anywhere. It was just fantastic.
Yeah, my favorite song is "We've Never Been This Far Before."
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was very salacious back. I mean, very risque back in the day.
It's funny because when I was a kid at Christ Corner, in the youth Sunday school class, they used to discuss that song right there.
Boom, boom,
Yes,
boom.
yes, they used to discuss that song right there because
Yeah, man.
he was was very suggestive in a lot of the stuff that he did.
I love some Conway too.
You know.
Dude, I remember, but things were just so different back then, and like it seemed like, you know, and it was. I'm not gonna lie, I never agreed with it, and I was a kid, but I still don't, man. And I do know. Here's the thing you gotta know: music's very influential.
Sure.
It just is, man. In fact, we know that, you know, if you go look, that could go real deep, man. But it goes down back to the devil literally has music he's created from.
He was
you
like
know,
the praise and worship leader in heaven, right?
It's in him. So music has the ability, but
We actually talked about that yesterday.
yeah, but man, the church picked on music so much back then. Remember Donahue and that big special? And that was about rock and roll, but they were they were calling it out, and they were doing the whole backmasking thing and all that, and most of that. And I'm not saying there wasn't. Maybe there was some. I guarantee you, nobody ever did back. Here's my opinion: nobody ever did that until they started talking about it, and then they're like, "Oh, let's do it. That sounds fun. Let's
Sold
make a
some
big deal out
records.
of it." Yeah. And man, even when they talked to even people as crazy as like, you know, let's just use Ozzy Osbourne because he was a shot guy. That's what he was. When you talk to him, you found out that that's a stage persona, man, that they're putting on and they're entertaining people. I still think you got to be careful. But at the same time, we were, you know, it was probably worse for you because you were like one generation ahead of us.
Yes.
Where, you know, we were like, oh, you can't listen to that. You can't listen to that. You can't listen to that. And as I got older, I was like, man, you know, there was a lot of this stuff I probably could have listened to. Now, some of it I agree with. Some of it, you know, I don't want people listening to. There are some songs out there that are just stupid that, you know, call for nonsense and all that. But, you know, for the most part, the music that we were, what's the word? The music that we were, you know, banned from listening to and from watching or whatever, you know, turned out, you know, now you're older, you find out, man, they're just normal, you know, kind of
Now
normal.
it's elevator music.
Yeah, normal people.
Oh, man.
Like Kiss was one. Kiss was one that they, you know, that they completely, you know, just blew off as, oh, they're devils because they wore makeup or whatever it was. And, and then you go back and you listen, you find out, like you look at Gene Simmons. Now, I'm not saying he's by no means a perfect person. Nobody is. But there's a guy, you talk about rock and roll, and they talk about drugs. And that guy never drank, never smoked.
No,
he always stayed sober, you know, always did things. Now, he had other issues.
He did sleep with
He
thousands
did sleep
of women.
with thousands of women. Yes, he did.
There's
Yes,
that.
He did do that. Listen, I said he wasn't perfect.
He was the cream Abdul-Jabbar of music.
Oh, man.
Well, you know, you have to remember during my generation, late 60s, early 70s, is when the world and the church went through this huge transition phase. Because in the 60s, you know, women were subservient, men were in charge. You know, women wore skirts, they had their hair long, they had to dress modestly. And as we started coming into the late 60s, early 70s, that started transitioning, and then you started seeing women wearing pants. I remember the first time somebody wore pants. In fact, it was Philip's mother. The pastor's daughter wore a pair of pants to church.
And that was
oh my
man.
Lord, you thought that the world had come to an end.
Who, Miss C, Vicky?
Yeah.
Miss C.
Out there.
And
Being a rebel.
I remember to this day, they had a church meeting over it. Literally had a church meeting over it. And I remember to this day her standing up and defending what she was doing. And
She ain't one to fight.
she was, I mean, and she was dead on. But there are things that were happening during that time frame. There was so much change going on. The free love movement was coming in, and you know, open relationships and all this kind of stuff was happening, and you know, different things were happening in the church, different things were happening in the world. And you had Martin Luther King's assassination, you had the riots, you had all the stuff that was going on. Robert F. Kennedy was shot and killed, and the world was in a flux during that time. And it took a while for the church to kind of finally catch up and realize, you know, maybe some of the stuff that we were so dogmatic about back then, we don't need to be so dogmatic about.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, if you took a pastor from the 50s and put him into one of our church services today, and he saw how we do church today compared to what they believe church should be back then,
Yeah.
well, we'd all be dying and going to heaven.
Oh, sure.
Oh, I guarantee you, he won't walk in mine. I walked into the band opening up to what was it? In the Air Tonight. That's what they opened up to Sunday. And they changed the lyrics.
Some lyrics were changed.
And they just introduced a song. But I love that, man.
Yeah.
There's people that have never been in church, and they probably were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And you know what? And then it caught their attention, and then it went straight into leading worship.
Yeah.
And it's family month here right now, so it's crazy. Anyway, we got some games and stuff going on, and it's all decorated. And we have people come in, but you know what you just said really reminded me, because man, you made me think. Wow, we're kind of going through a transition like that right now with Charlie Kirk's assassination, and we see how split we are as a country and a nation. But man, the church is seeing revival like never. Man, they said churches were packed all across the country of young people
that was like that,
have decided
here.
It was super packed here. We were a little more it's pretty crowded
it just
here every
seemed,
week, but
really crowded.
But it did. It was.
Yeah.
There was definitely. Yeah, there were definitely some people that came back, and that's what you're seeing is people who either like, man, my favorite story was RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's been through this. He was talking at a prayer vigil, and he said that his niece's mom called Bobby or Robert RFK Jr. and said, "Hey, your niece is going to college right now, and she just put a Bible in her suitcase." And she said, when I asked her why, she said, "Because I want to live like Charlie Kirk." And I was like, wow.
Oh, wow.
And so, man, I hate that happened, but man, look at the way God uses evil things for good, you know.
Yeah.
I said yesterday at the church podcast, I almost wonder if Jesus said, "Oh man, Charlie, I know you didn't understand, but come here and look at this." You know what I mean? Come here and watch. See what's happening and there's this big, mass thing going on in this country, and we need, man. I'll say it. I know I just said, I said we're not a church podcast, but man, if the world needs something, man, it needs Jesus. That's for sure.
Man.
And we can talk all we want about religion and politics and rules and regulations and what churches, but here's the only thing that matters. What the Bible says is, man, if you confess, if you believe in your heart, confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is the Lord, that God, that he lived the perfect life, that God raised him from the dead, 3 days later he walked out of the grave, he atoned for our sins, he did that, man. He paid he paid the bill when he walked out, and man, I love seeing these young people with their hearts, exploding for Christ after something that was so negative. Because people can go the other way. We've seen that.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People can do the other thing, and so I love that. Sorry, golly, my preacher.
What are you sorry for?
Preacher come out at me.
What are you, a preacher or something?
He's going to be taking up an offering here.
Hold on, man. Can I Venmo you something?
We might take up two. If we might close the doors. If it ain't. I was talking to a guy, and he was like, "Man, I went to this one church, and they took up the offering, and then they closed the doors and said, 'We're taking up again.' That wasn't enough." I was like, "Oh Lord." Good night. So man, so we can find you on Spotify, Nail Print, and the new album is called what?
The new album's called Save Me.
Save Me.
Yes.
Okay, and is that the title track too?
No, technically the first track on there is Be Ready, but the Save Me album, you can't miss it because it's got a. Paul was averse to putting his picture on this time because he feels like he's not aged well. And
none of us are.
So I had to come up with a way to do the album.
I think
cover.
it's right there.
Is that the album art?
Oh,
that's it. Right
that's
there.
nice.
Yep.
I like that,
really
man.
cool.
Yeah.
I had to come up with a way to do the art, and so it's a water. It's like a water version of Alien,
Yeah.
That's really
like
cool,
it,
man.
But yeah, I'm real happy with the way it came out. We worked on this album for 3 years.
Oh wow!
And it has 8 original songs on them. One of them is mine, the rest of them are Paul's, and some of Paul's best work is on this album. He really wrote some incredible songs. And if you want to see true poetry, look at the liner notes he wrote. My goodness gracious. It's just really something. And we put a lot of time, a lot of effort into it. We took this one and had it professionally mixed and professionally mastered, and we're really happy with the way it came out.
You said you recorded in Nashville?
This one here, we actually did the recording on my equipment.
Okay.
And then we shipped it down through the wonders of multi-track. We sent it down to Nashville and at Chapel Valley Studios, and they mixed it and mastered it for us down there.
That's one thing I love about one of the things technology has given is musicians can record now, without I mean, I know it's always better if you can go to a studio, but like you and Dave have laid down some really good stuff in his living room, right? Because you're able to do that. Like you said, you get it sent off.
That stuff has made its way to movie soundtracks, ironically enough.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought that? What are you running? What are you running? Pro Tools or?
No, I am using a Windows program called Cakewalk Sonar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
I remember Cakewalk.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that wrote the Ghostbusters theme, he recorded that on a little Tascam 4-track.
Is that Ray Parker Jr.?
Yes, Ray Parker Jr.
Ray Parker
Yeah,
Jr.
man.
He did that in his garage on a little 4-track.
No ghosts.
I used to have a Tascam 424.
Yeah, I remember. I was going to bring it
Studio.
up. We played with it all the time.
Yeah,
man.
I got that when I was about 16, 17 years old.
I did a lot of recording on those things, man. They're workhorses.
Oh, they are, man. They are. And you could get some really good sounds out of them.
Yes, you could.
They did record good. I mean, now look at what we got now, though. You don't do it much, which I'm surprised. But you usually got a guy with you. But look at some of these guys. I'll tell you who's good. Lindsey Williams does it a lot.
Looping.
Where they got a pedal and they loop, and it's pretty much like what that is. It's a however many tracks that record.
Yeah.
And then they'll beat their guitar.
Yeah. I tried that for a little bit, but I was like, man, I'll never be as good as Lindsey at doing this, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna do my thing. I don't want to mess this up.
Yeah, I've seen that, and it's I haven't seen yours, but I've seen the other one, and it the first time I saw it, I was just absolutely blown away by it. What they were able to do, and with just them and a guitar.
Yeah, you would not have been blown away if you would have saw me do it.
There's like little kids. I mean, I'm talking under 14, 15 years old that are street musicians, and man, they'll be out there with acoustic and that loop pedal, and then they'll play their drum beat, and then they'll play like a little bass line or whatever, and they sound fantastic, man. And they're playing on the street and they'll tell how much money they're getting thrown in their buckets every day.
That's true, and I made several $100s the other day walking down the street. I don't know why that guy got upset. I picked up his guitar case.
I know how that goes. Nothing wrong with that.
But man, years and years and years ago, things were just different back then. I mean, we didn't have that stuff.
Nothing.
So everything we did was done manual. I had a stereo that had an 8-track recorder, 8-track cartridge recorder, and then it had a player on it, and so you could record on one channel of the track, and then you could take that and put it in the bottom and play it. I made my own multi-track recorder out of it. Is what I did, so I could play along with it and do kind of stuff. And man, I thought I was top of the line back then.
I remember my dad wanting to record his sermons, and so you'd have to take one of those. A tape recorder in there, right? In the church, not hooked up to nothing. Yeah. And you couldn't even just hit record. You had to hit. You had to do the both buttons to play and record, right?
Yeah, play, record.
And then he would record him. And he would listen, and it would sound like he was 5 miles away.
That's I did that for my grandfather, Poppy.
Yep,
did that a lot for a lot of his sermons.
I know. Yeah, see, dude. Every once in a while. And it's been a long time, but you remember when we would come across like some of the cassettes that we did when we were young? Like I'll still find them. And my boys still ask. They'll say, "Hey, Dad, what happened to that Day in the Life video?" Because we did some when we had the
big camcorder
that was like this big.
Shoulder.
We would go around town filming. Yeah. We originated this.
We were probably the first reality show.
We were probably the first podcasters
that nobody saw.
True story.
True story.
I don't know how true it is.
Well, here's another true story for you. We were talking about me doing the thing with John Brennan with Alabama. When I was at Goldie's, we opened up and played for George Jones at the River Park Center.
What?
That's wow.
And then
when
I was playing with Tommy Stillwell's Serious Business. We opened up for Kentucky Headhunters, and we opened up for ZZ Top.
Yeah.
So we did some stuff there. And
hey, I like ZZ Top, and I love the Kentucky Headhunters, but man, George Jones.
So okay, this is a little
Lord have mercy.
Little side note here. What would you say is the saddest country song ever written?
Well, I think what you're probably fishing for is He Stopped Loving Her Today.
That's what I'm fishing for.
I think that's what you're fishing for.
That's what I'm fishing for. You think there's something more sad than that?
It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
The sad part about that is the fact that the guy died, and so there's no way to fix it. I mean, it's just that's the way it is. He's dead. It's gone.
Yeah.
But there are other songs that I've heard that to me ring a little bit worse because both the people are still alive and yet they can't be together for whatever reason.
Can't Make You Love Me.
But that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Teddy Swims.
But see, in those songs,
oh my gosh, Teddy Swims.
Oh, don't
Holy cow! What a performer.
Yeah,
man.
what a vocalist.
Have you seen the stuff he was doing with Kelly Clarkson?
Yeah, I did see one of them at least.
My goodness gracious.
Dude, they're so good. I seen one where, so there's this guy, I'm sure you guys probably have seen him. He goes to these places that have these grand pianos out and he plays piano. And anybody can walk up to him and be like, hey, can you play this? Well, Teddy Swims walked in the mall.
that.
And he played, and he was like, they probably set up, but
it might have been.
But it
Fun
was
little
awesome.
fact: Teddy Swims has a Pentecostal background.
I think I knew that.
I think his grandfather was a Pentecostal minister.
There you go, and that's probably where he started singing, man.
Probably.
Started singing in church.
Well,
and
you'll find a lot of people who sing that style have a basis of some sort in church in their
Absolutely.
background.
Yeah.
Because that kind of emotion, that kind of feeling that they produce, you'll see that in a lot of the church performances of church singers. And when I first started playing with Tommy Stillwell, I don't even remember what the song was I did now, but when I got finished, the bass player Mark Glover came over to me and he said, "You used to sing in church, didn't you?"
I remember Tommy Stillwell. He was around here, right? He did the.
He still plays.
Yeah,
He's still out doing
yeah,
it.
Tommy. He was like a blues guy around here.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I remember that.
Well, that's what we played. We played blues.
Played down the Duck Inn a lot. That's where he was.
Yes,
Yeah.
I played at the Duck several times. Yes.
I played at the Duck too, but different kind of playing.
Hey, man.
We got in all kinds of trouble with the Duck Inn. Boy.
Yeah,
That was bad. That was neighborhood bar. That was right around the corner from where we grew up. But
Well, yeah, me too, because I was over off at Riverside on Roosevelt Drive.
so you lived over there by all the
I
east.
did.
That was like that
did.
was East End over there.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
That's funny. Well, I don't know anymore, but I know Ken. I mean, everybody lived over there, man. That was back in the day. That's where Aaron's grandparents lived, over like Ruston and
Yes.
all that area over
Yeah,
there.
Ruston, Reinhardt, St. James.
Over there off Ficus.
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly
Off,
what you're talking
yeah,
about.
man, that's awesome.
It's funny we all grew up over there.
Yeah, I know, man. It
Small
is
world,
crazy, dude.
especially in Evansville,
It,
Yeah,
you
but-
know,
Right.
on the southeast side.
It is. But we talked about this on another episode. And Evansville's got a good music scene, man. We really do. It's not awful.
There's a lot of talented people around here.
There is, especially for a town, for a city this size that really, I'll say it, Evansville doesn't really do anything well. We have sports teams, they leave because nobody backs them. We have, I guarantee you, we even have musicians around here that would probably be bigger and more successful if the local people would ever jumped on and backed them like they should have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of the problem around here is the venue. It's hard to find good venues. If you go up to Indianapolis, they have, their music scene it's just stacked.
Right.
Because they have all different kinds of places that you can go that are not dive bars or,
Sure.
They're good places
Proper
to go.
venues,
Right,
yeah.
where you can go and hear stuff, and we don't really have a lot of that down there.
And maybe really ought to fix my statement. We don't have a great music scene. We have a lot of musical talent.
Yes.
Yeah.
That if they had a better scene, would probably do better.
What
Yes.
was the place that I think you probably played there? And it was kind of like a Christian club or a theater. Was it called
The Encore?
The Encore.
Yes, I played there several times.
Yeah.
Carl Rodenberg was the guy behind all of that.
I remember him too.
And that was a cool little place, right?
It was a great place, man. Excuse me. Had a gorgeous stage and it was actually originally, let's see, what's his name? Hansel Vibert's church. Before they moved out to First Avenue, just south of the Bible Center or north of the Bible Center.
Oh yeah. Calvary. Was it Calvary?
Calvary Temple. Calvary
Yeah.
Temple. And it was a big church, man. And in fact, I think it's a church again now, but they turned it into what was supposed to be a playhouse where they would put on plays and things along that line, and they serve food and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then that went belly up, and when it did, Carl came in there with a group of investors and turned it into a Christian music venue.
Yeah.
Because he had done Sunrise Pizza over on, I can't think of the name of the street now, but it's over on the west side. And they had kind of pioneered this. His band, his gospel band at the time, would play there.
Yeah.
And people come in, they get pizza, they get potatoes, they get whatever, and then they would have a concert with them playing.
Right.
And so he kind of pioneered that whole thing, and they moved it into the Encore and stepped it up.
Yeah.
And it was a blast, man. It was a great place to play. I played there. I had a band with Joe Hurd, David Hurd, Carly Mann was on drums.
Yeah.
And me on keys. It was called the Good News Band.
I remember.
I think I remember that too.
We played there a couple of times and just absolutely had a blast.
That was when Young Joe first came to
Yeah, he couldn't have
Evansville,
been,
right?
what was he,
Man.
18, 19 years
Yeah,
old, something
dude,
like
that guy could. Holy cow, that guy could play.
Yeah, he can play
Joe?
too.
Joe's
Yeah,
a
we never
player,
talked about him.
man.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Dude, so we were like, we ran around with Joe like every day, man. You know,
Yeah.
we'd run around that. Well, you and him
Yeah.
worked at the Whirlpool.
We did.
Yeah.
Factory,
Well,
the factory
He
outlet.
came
yeah.
here to study music. He came here to go to the U of E.
Well, okay.
And that's what he was wanting to do. And then we were we weren't able to travel very much, but because his brother and his pastor didn't want them out of church. So we would go and we would sing wherever we could, and just had a ball doing it. But he started feeling the call to preach, and in fact, there's a song that's on the new Nail Print album that I wrote back then. It was originally called Joe's Song
Oh, okay.
because I had written it about him
Yeah,
and the struggle that he was having
I got you.
going on. And in fact, he and I, we sat down at a McDonald's on First Avenue, and he was sharing with me some of what he was going with and some of what he was dealing and how he wanted to preach, but he didn't know if he could do it or not. And I told him, I said, well, just get up and try it.
Yeah.
Just get up and try it. If it's right, if it's what you're supposed to do, and if you're called to do it, then it'll take off and you'll do it.
Yep.
And he was a natural.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that guy can preach.
He can, and he can do it for a long time too.
Yeah. Yes.
I love the herds, but bro, I need 30, 45 minutes. I don't need no look.
Oh man.
Look, Pharaoh, you better
Let
let
my
God's
people
people
go.
go.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize he came here for U of E. Did he have like a plan to enroll?
He did enroll.
He did.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember that
Was he
either.
gonna study under Renato?
I believe so.
Because I actually did. I was probably like the worst student maybe in the history of U of E. But yeah, I actually did go over there, and then quit after a year.
I was going to
because
say, that was a
gonna
crazy 6 weeks.
That was a crazy 2 weeks. No, I finished the year, and I was like, I'm going to be a rock star. I don't need this education.
Yeah. Well, listen, I understand that feeling because that's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to be, this is the funny part about this whole thing. I never wanted to be the guy in front.
Yeah.
Never wanted to do that. I wanted to be the guy in the back. I wanted to be the guy playing the instruments. I wanted to be the guy doing the studio sessions. That's writing the songs. That's what I wanted to do. And through the stuff that happened with the Gospel Sounds, and when the Gospel Sounds broke up and I started going out on my own and everything, it just kind of morphed and developed into, this whole persona that I've got going on now. And this is not what it's not what I wanted to do, but it's just it's the way everything ended.
Yeah,
up.
man. Sometimes we don't know what's going to happen, and we just kind of end up where we are. I think it's probably definitely a good decision that you started singing.
Yeah, man.
That was definitely that. For one thing, you guys can't hear out there in this. Dave's got pipes too. Man.
Are you still hitting all those high? Have you
high
lost
notes.
any of your upper register?
No,
Not at all?
no.
Man, I like that. What would you say the top of your register is?
I have gone as high.
Full voice.
I have gone as high. It's an E note. I don't remember what octave it is, but it's up there.
Can you hit it on the piano that very low?
Yes. Yeah.
Good Lord. And that's full voice.
Yes. Yeah, if I go falsetto, I can go higher.
Yeah.
This upstairs studio is as high as I've gotten. Oh man.
Yeah. But see, I've had when I was singing with the Gospel Sounds, I tore my voice all to pieces.
Were you singing? You were singing a lot of harmony, weren't you?
I was.
Were you singing like a fifth above the lead, or
Yes.
what? Okay.
Yeah.
Singing that high.
Yeah, and just under Lori. Lori would sing a high third, and I'd sing a high fifth or a low fifth. And we were going, and what we were doing were revivals. So we would do a week one place where we were singing every night.
Yeah.
And when we sang. I mean, it wasn't like, la 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 la. We were pushing it.
And you weren't doing 3 songs either.
No, we were not.
Right.
Because in those days when you started praise and worship back then would go on for a couple of hours.
Oh, I remember.
So, my voice would get so sore and so tired that I stared using chloroseptic.
Yeah.
And
numbing those vocal
cords. And then there were a couple of times that we were out for like 3-4 months, and I wasn't even using the sprayer. I just unscrewed the thing. And
man.
Swigs of it. Oh.
And the funny thing is we'd get done with the service, and I couldn't talk above a whisper, but I could always sing.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me how stupid I was, and the fact that I have any voice at all now because of what I did with it, because it was just dumb. And I got introduced to a young lady. Her name's Christy Sutherland, and she is one of the most incredible vocal coaches I have ever met in my entire life. Very, very good at what she does. She's based out of Texas now, and I went through several months of training with her, and she had me doing stuff I was just unreal to me. I couldn't believe it. And it really helped me to get my technique better and to get my foundation better and my breathing better.
Yeah.
And, now I've had, since 2019, I've had 4 heart attacks.
Oh, my.
So, and I've had stents, I've had triple, I've done the whole 9 yards. Again, George Jones wrote "Living and Dying by the Choices I've Made." That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so my breathing is affected some. My stamina is definitely affected some. In fact, I just got out of the hospital this past Friday, and my stamina is affected some. So I'm not. I can't maintain it for as long as I used to be able to maintain it. But I still pretty much have the range.
Wow.
Hey, ain't no shame in losing a little bit of our stamina. I know we're 50.
Yeah.
And I told you, man, I usually have to call. Sometimes we have to do CPR on Jimmy after he climbs up these steps.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That's
Like
real.
we'll get ready to
That's
start,
real.
and
That's
Jimmy
real
will be like, hold on a minute.
Yeah, give me about 10 minutes to get my wind back.
Well, I tell you, Jimmy, I love you, man. But if you need mouth to mouth, you're probably going to be in trouble because
I figured so.
I'm not going to do that.
I'm gonna go buy one of those tools where if I have to do that, I can just give it to you through a straw. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm like Toby Keith. I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Right,
Yeah.
man. Awesome. Well, man, thanks for coming on and talking to us for a little bit, Dave.
Well, I'll tell you what. Before we go,
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to talk about Logan a little bit.
Oh yes, let's do that.
Yeah,
we
man,
we
for
we
sure.
we
For sure.
we spiral.
We told you
We're not on a time
we
limit.
squirrel out a lot.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we still have to talk about some wrecked pianos that we didn't talk about either.
Oh
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, that's
but,
true.
But my boy Logan, he's playing with the Sam Hahn Band.
Yeah.
This kid is phenomenal. And, I say kid. He's 24 years old. He's always going to be my kid.
Sure.
But he's absolutely phenomenal. He is a musical theory encyclopedia. It's amazing what this kid knows.
Yeah.
And most of it self-taught. I showed him a few things, and he just took off running with it.
That's where I think that there is a genetic.
There's something in the DNA there.
There is.
There has to be.
Has to
I
be.
mean,
Yeah, he just took off running with it. He everything he plays well. And he has started writing songs. My goodness gracious!
I'm telling you right now. I was going to say that earlier. What a songwriter.
Yes. He is excellent as a lyricist.
For sure.
Some of the stuff that he has played for me has been I'm amazed with it, how he's doing. And he's kind of in the mindset that I was in. He wants to be in the studio writing the songs.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do. But you put him on a stage and throw a solo to him, man.
Hey, man.
So does he sing? Does Logan sing?
Yes, he
Yes.
does. So
Yes, he
if
does.
anytime he's out, I will bring him up on stage, and
Yeah.
we will do harmony together, and then I make him sing something by himself.
By himself, yeah.
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 He,
You do that. You're known for that.
I am known for that. I love it when talented people get up there and show everybody what they.
I do too.
what
I
they
do too.
have.
Well, I hear a lot about him, and I know he won those. I knew he won that contest a
Yes.
few years back. I'd seen that you posted
He won it at the local level and he won it at the international level.
it. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, the kid's good. I mean, and he'll be. My kids are 24 too, so he's
Yeah.
a kid to me too. But yeah, man. I've heard about. The talent that he has and how good he is, and that's what
And
I was saying earlier.
yeah.
There's
I can
definitely
vouch for it.
There's definitely a genetic aspect to that, man.
Yeah.
Because there are people like you look at the amount of musicians who have like their offspring just come up and like you said, he's self-taught. He didn't
Yeah.
go through a whole lot of stuff. It's kind of like I'm not saying that people are born just knowing how to do it, but I definitely think you're born with the aptitude to do
Yep.
it. Like you've got the kind of mind that's able to. There's like some people where math comes easy too. Some people,
Yeah.
I think music's that way too. There's some
Now,
people that,
And here's the big difference between Logan and myself. I play piano like it's a percussive instrument.
yes, you
Yes.
do.
So that's a good
That's gonna
segue.
lead, good segue.
So I hear.
I do. I play them like it's a percussive instrument. And so to do some of the things I do, because when you're playing, as any keyboard player can tell you, when you're playing out with a band, the focus is always on the guitar, the drummer. Those are where the focus is generally on, because that's the flash.
Yep.
And so what I did was I came up with my own flash, and I flail around and I do all kinds of stuff, and I beat the tar out of the thing. And Logan has a touch on a piano that I have always wanted to have and never been able to acquire. He has such a touch. He can do stuff. I can show him how to do a lick that I do where you'd see my hands flaying all over the place. And he'll sit down and he's like David Hurd. It's like you don't see him move.
Yeah.
You hear it, but you don't see him move. It's like effortless for this guy. And I'm just proud as punching him. There's going to be big things coming out of that kid. I really
Yeah,
believe
man.
that.
Yeah, man.
I do
I've
too.
heard, like I
I
said,
do
I've
too.
heard how talented he is. I can't wait to hear him live. But it's funny because, like you said, you do play like a percussive.
I do.
Yeah.
I literally remember being a kid, and like I remember Pastor saying, "Oh God, we love him, but Dave's gonna tear our piano up."
You're gonna break them keys.
Well, I had a reputation for that.
So how many keyboards have you had to get repaired? And if you had to guess, Hundreds?
Probably 10.
oh yeah,
Is that the low side?
brother-
That seems
yeah.
like the low
Brother,
side.
Brother Martin at Eastside Church of God completely banned me from playing. I could not play his piano.
yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
completely banned me from playing his piano. We played at a church down in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and they just got this beautiful Baldwin, because who likes a hairy piano?
Right.
They got
Baldwin.
they got this beautiful Baldwin piano. It was black. It was like concert level. I mean, they paid, I don't know, it was thousands and thousands. It was a ridiculous amount of money, and this is back in the late 70s. And the pastor was all proud of it. It had just been delivered 2 days before.
Oh man.
And so we get in there and the gospel sounds, and I'm doing my thing over there, and I had a habit of keeping time on the sustain pedal. So I'd be
yeah.
stepping on the
Yeah.
doing that sort of thing, and all of a sudden I look down and there's no sustain pedal. And so Paul Jacobs, bless his heart, love the guy to death, but he can talk when he gets ready to go. Okay, put a microphone in his hand and he can. He can make it happen. And so he's introducing the next song, which usually takes quite a bit of time. I'm under the piano with the front off of it, trying to pull the pedal back out.
Oh man.
And and this is the one time Paul decides not to take his time, and he turns around and gives me the cue. He turns around and looks, and I'm not there because I'm underneath I was
Right.
behind a wall underneath the piano. And so then I had to admit to everybody in front of that I had just broken the piano. And if you could have seen the pastor's face, I wasn't a member of the Church of God then, and so the pastor said, "Well, what do you expect from a loose mule?"
It's
So-
it's crazy to, they spend all that money on those. You would think that they would be able to stand up to it. I don't think it's Dave's fault. I think they should build things better. Baldwin should have built that.
That's
but,
right.
built
I
that
agree.
better.
Well,
Hey, look, I got a funny piano story because I told you I came to church and I would fake playing instruments because I was forced to, right? So I was literally playing tonic, right? Playing a bass note, whatever. Not good. This isn't about playing the piano, but I was playing piano in service this night. And this is my embarrassing, funny piano story. I was on one of a stool and I needed to scoot back a little bit. And when I did, it was one of those stools where like it had like the legs like scissored or whatever. And I pulled it up out of that thing in front of everybody, dude. When I went back down, Nestea plunge, baby. I got up, I sat back on the stool and I looked at him and I said, "Everybody go ahead and laugh." It just exploded. And then I sang The Lighthouse.
we were at a church down in Kentucky. I can't remember where we were now. Paul Jacobs could tell you because he's got a memory he's like an eidetic memory when it comes to this stuff. And we were playing, and it was an old church, man. And it had cables running across the top of it that was holding the walls. It was really old. Had two big old coal stoves in the front of it. And this upright, I know, had to be 150 years old.
Yeah.
It was just, the ivory and stuff was coming off of
Right.
it. And we got up there, man, doing our gospel sounds thing, man, and I'm just wailing on this thing, and I go up like this, and I come back down, and when I did, a piece of that ivory broke and slipped my finger from the fingertip down to my palm. And I didn't realize it. And I'm just sitting here just playing along, and all of a sudden I look down, there's blood everywhere. And, and then you were talking about falling on that stool. Steve Montgomery was the drummer of the Gospel Sounds, and any of you who know Steve Montgomery, he's a rather eclectic personality. And we had set up on the stage. He had a set of drums. It was 2 bass drums, 4 toms, 2 floor toms, a snare, and about 8 cymbals that we carried with us everywhere we went. And we set up on this platform, and the platform was real small. And it had a baptistry in the floor. And his stool, it was empty. His stool was right at the edge of that thing.
Oh, man.
And so the service is going, and we're all doing it, and everything's happening. All of a sudden, you hear crash.
He's in the baptistry.
And I turn around and look, and you don't see anything but his feet sticking up out of the baptistry just like that.
Dude, if I was the pastor of that church, I immediately would have said, "I baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit."
And let me give you one more story.
Yeah, bring it
because
on.
This is a Paul Jacobs story, and I can't let this go without telling it.
Tell it.
Okay. In the bus, Paul built 4 bunks over the wheel well. So the funny part about this is the bunk on the bottom had like 4 foot of headroom in it. The bunk above it had like this much, okay? I mean, just enough to crawl into.
Yeah.
And he put curtains on the front of it so you could close them over the thing.
Right.
Well, we used to get in, we being me and Tim and Steve and Dave, we used to get in bogey contests. And for those of you who don't know, that entails taking your elbow, your forearm, or your fist and striking somebody in the calf or the thigh in order to try and make their muscles cramp up.
Right.
Okay, and then yes, I know, we were stupid, but this was us. And so Paul was always saying and warning us that he knew karate.
I remember it.
He had a black belt in karate.
Yeah.
He always said that. So we're in the bus, and and the guys are fighting. Well, Paul is in that upper bunk up here. Me and the guys are fighting down there, and Paul's got the curtains closed, and he's sitting up there, and he's like, "Man, you guys better not mess with me because I know karate, and I'll kick your butt. You better not mess with me." And so finally I said, "Well, the heck with this," and I swung open the curtain, and I brought my forearm right across his 2 skinny little thighs and just nailed him.
Oh, man.
And when I did, he sat straight up, bam, right into the
he hit the
ceiling of the
Ceiling,
bus,
yeah.
laid back down. I closed the curtain. He's laying there and moaned for about an hour.
And I get offended sometimes when people say that stuff about being a black belt because I do have a black belt.
There you.
I got a JCPenney, man. It was
$3.19. You
$3.99.
like? Yeah, I got.
That was Karate Kid right there, baby.
Yeah, it was.
Instant in season and out of season. That's what I like. No, but man, and I'm sure there's probably so many stories from 3 years of driving around on that bus, man. I know we would have had all kinds of those because they're the same games we played. And the funny thing is we played them with Paul, with PJ, with Paul's son. Yeah, I still remember them picking me up and frogging my legs one time at church. For a long time, I had revenge plans for them. But you get older. I was a little kid, and you get older, and they're buddies of mine now. It was him and Billy Huff. Yeah. There's another Billy, man.
Billy Hart.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they learned all that from us, so you can blame us
just
for that. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, let me tell you what they didn't learn from me. They learned grace from me because I grew up and now all of them they're all little runts, which is funny. But then I grew up. It's funny that you brought up the little bed with a lot of room because I decided I'm going to build my youngest son a bed like that. I built him a loft bed. It's fine for him. All of a sudden he grew. He's like my youngest son is like 6'7".
Yeah.
And so he ain't even know it. Like that thing's been in there for years and it's like a roof over his bed he sleeps in. You know what I mean? And it's up high and it's pretty much storage in there now.
Yeah, he's not getting up there.
No. But his room's cool. I mean, have you ever noticed? You notice I did his room as a green screen? It's a big green screen. Yeah. That's what it is. You can do anything in there if you want to record ever. So, but man, Dave, thanks for coming on. It's been a fun show.
Yeah.
We always have fun talking. We'll definitely do it again, man. We'll definitely be promoting that album. Be looking. Listen, if you're watching the show, make sure that you look in the description of this video because we'll have links to Dave's social and Facebook and where you can listen to the album and all of that stuff. Check out if you're into talented. Look, if you're into junk, don't listen. If you're into talented musicians, look, we're talking about Dave, but I do know Paul too. Yeah. These are two tier 1 level
real deal
musicians that will come to your place and break your piano.
Nah, he's not breaking pianos anymore.
I carry my own now.
You retired from breaking pianos. Yeah. No, I'm just playing. It don't matter to me if somebody I'm the kind of guy that's like, oh, that's worth it. If they're that good, then hey, I'll take the sacrifice that happens. Yeah, it's part of it. But check it out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on the video, click the notification bell so you never miss a video. It's super simple for you. It takes 1 second, helps us out a lot. As always, you can catch us every Thursday on YouTube. You can catch us on Spotify, and there is nobody in the world like my bestest good buddy that can say bye quite like this.
Well, bye.
It just keeps stretching out.
I just keep stretching it longer and longer.
He's your Huckleberry.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it is. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, man. Good show. Oh,
that was fun.